Hello and welcome back to TV and Tequila. This is the Batwoman AfterTea season 2, episode 3, if I'm not mistaken. I am here with Laura. We have just finished the episodes seconds ago. We are
Hello.
thrilled. It was an amazing episode. Goodbye.
This has been Batwoman AfterTea. Goodbye. I mean, it was better than the last episode.
Was it though? I'm not sure, because this time we are doing dry February, everyone, and this time we were absolutely sober, and last time we weren't. So I enjoyed last time much more because I didn't realize how bad it was.
To be honest, for me it was kind of the opposite way, the other way around, because yes, there were a lot of scenes where we were kind of like, this is not written terrifically, but I felt more intrigued by just what was happening and the information that was given to us about, I feel like the plot developed a lot faster, because the criticism of last week was how the whole plot with the poison and that was last week, right?
Yeah.
The whole plot with the bats and everything was unnecessary and redundant, and the whole chase was redundant, and it was all for Alice. And this episode, I feel like we actually got to see things happen. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Yes, I do see that point. I think though, it was better than last week, plot-wise, but also I think it was still not good writing. No. I think what they should have done is wrap last week's episode and this week's episode together, so that, because we had last week essentially being a lot of action, but it was pointless, and this week we had a lot of info, but wasn't.
That's true. There was not too much. I mean, yeah, we got the sort of the fight scenes. I liked that progression, even though the fight scenes themselves are not amazing. Like, we know somebody needs to talk to the choreographer, I think. But when we see Ryan actually step into the suit, and then she, the first scene where she's trying to fight people, she misses and she wastes $4,000 or something. And then the second time she kind of, it's like this moment of when she's in the apartment of Mr. Sass, but it's not Sass, it's Zaz, but yes, he is a very sassy man.
He is a quite sassy specimen, yes.
Specimen. So basically I will say I didn't laugh, but I thought it was sort of funny the way she's trying to basically couldn't handle all the gear and didn't find the button on the stick. But in the final fight with Mr. Sass, she she's basically lost, and she uses the stick. It's a callback to, there is progression and there's comedic moments in that, even if I didn't explicitly laugh. Exactly.
I did a couple of times, actually. I giggled now and then. No, I think comedy wise, it's getting, I don't know if the writing is getting better or the actors are just finding their flow and kind of knowing how to make it funny. I will repeat myself the third time in a row, but I think the actress playing Ryan has an amazing comedic timing, which I don't think that's the writers, quite frankly, because I see how the show is written and it's not that funny. But yeah, there were some scenes that I liked. I liked that they talked about Mary being a millionaire. So why do I make $12.50 an hour? Mary's just well, you see.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good one.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say the same thing as last week. I really think Mary is carrying the show, which might just be that I really like the character. But yeah.
I mean, no, I feel like she does have some of the most interesting scenes, or some of the most fun scenes to watch, I guess, because first, I think because of her, and her as a character, but I don't know, she also gets a lot of action. Not, that kind of action, but like different kind of action. But
yes.
What do you think of, like, because we were talking about last time, I think, can we see Ryan as a character? And I don't know, could you see more of her as like an actual person this time?
I mean, yes. Look, this is the 3rd episode. The first one, I had no idea who she was. The second one, she got bad choreography. And now at least we got some backstory. Like, apparently, Victor Zsasz knows her ex-girlfriend. And her ex-girlfriend is apparently a criminal. Angelica? Is that her name?
Angelique. Yeah.
Angelica. Okay. And she has some dialogue that has nothing to do with being Batwoman. So with and stuff. So I was like, oh, she seems funny. I think she is. Ryan is hiding under a layer of humor, which absolutely not relatable. What? Who does that?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I could grasp her a little bit more, and I think if they keep on doing it like this in 2 or 3 episodes, she will actually be, fleshed out.
And I think I agree. I mean, I definitely saw more of her as a person, because I think we saw more like Ryan in her life, in her daily life, or not daily life, because none of these situations are normal, but just because I felt like in the first episode it was very much like, I was in prison, I've had a hard life, and all of that had to be established, I suppose, although there are other ways to bring that kind of backstory. But they chose to just establish that part of her life first, and in a very strong way. And then the second episode, and I'm not just saying this because there was wine, but it is kind of a blur. Like, the second episode seemed like kind of a blur, just in terms of like who she is. Like, the only person that I can remember vividly is Mary, and maybe sometimes Luke, but only as basically him in that position of, oh, I reject you as Batwoman.
Yeah.
Which we had like a resolution of that today-ish.
Ish. Yeah, we kind of did. We had the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
That was actually a really nice moment, like at the end when she says that she empathizes with him.
Oh my God, yes. The last scene, because Laura and we kept saying, please end this now. This episode really doesn't need to continue. But the very last scene with Luke and Ryan, and then Luke and Mary, was so nice. It was the best scene of the episode. Hell yeah. Like, you can do this. Why don't you do more?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, okay, so let's recap what we had. Because I feel like we had info dump and we had fight scenes in 3 different places. We had Sapphire and Alice. We had Sophie with that weird person that looked like she's from the 100.
Yeah, she definitely does.
Definitely. And then we had Zsasz, who's mainly talking to Ryan.
Yeah.
Like some exposition and then fighting, obviously.
And
then
going around killing people.
Yes, and scarring himself and stuff. So let's start off with the easiest one for me, because I think not much happened. Alice and Sapphire. Do you want to go first? Because I have some strong opinions.
Well, I feel like, I don't know. The thing is, I think I was kind of excited at first, because like, they wake up on this weird, strange island, and you're like, ooh, where are they? What is this? What's going on? And then they had like this moment of talking to one of the other women who works for Sapphire, talking to Sapphire, but with her face isn't revealed. And we can't see her face. We just see her hair, and we're like, "Ooh, who is this mysterious woman?" And then they cut to Gotham and stuff, but then they cut back, and you just show you the face of Sapphire, and that was like
so bad.
And I feel like, generally speaking, in this whole interaction with on this island, there were so many missed opportunities to build tension.
Oh my God. So many missed opportunities to make it good scenes.
Yeah.
because we know Alice, we know, or at least if you've seen season 1, you know that she can have so many cool scenes. Alice can build up so much tension in every situation she's in just because she's not predictable. She does rad shit, which she didn't do at all.
Mm-hmm. And she's very listening. She's listening a lot, basically.
Yeah, she took the info dump in. I didn't like. I think my biggest problem with the whole island scene with not just Sapphire and Alice, but also Sophie and the 100 Girl, is that it could have been so cool. It could have been so great. Like Sapphire, we've been building up to this moment for a while now. Ending of season 1, basically. And that's it. You choose to exposition one of the coolest characters in an info dump episode where she's going to talk a lot.
Yeah, they definitely could have introduced her with more action.
Yeah. So I think Sapphire for me was a huge letdown. Also, we got a lot of info, which is semi-interesting. Oh, so Alice and Sapphire, they know each other. Sapphire has Kate or knows where she is. Cool. Could have told me that in a much cooler way. If I want to hear a story, I listen to an audiobook. I don't need to watch a TV series for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I mean, also, I felt like the whole info dump, like, yes, there was a lot of talking, but then they also a lot of it was not new information. Like, they kept coming back to certain points. Like, oh god, now I can't remember. But the fact, like, the whole thing of she keeps repeating, like, oh well, it was very hard for me to forgive you, but I did. And they keep saying that. They're like, oh, well, you did this, but I forgave you. Oh, you did this. And it's just it was way too calm. Like, they could have had this really cool opposition of Sapphire being a very calm presence and Alice being pissed.
Or Alice just going berserk. Alice just, even though she's basically a hostage, quote unquote, or like a prisoner, like still kind of making it her own, like fooling around, kind of being a dangerous kind of opponent in a way. They could have had the exact same dialogue, but just changed the scenery and how they're standing at the tone of it all. And it would have been so much more intriguing.
Yeah. Like, I felt a little bit disappointed when so the first time when Alice is led to Sapphire and they basically have this revelation, which now I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, that it wasn't Sapphire who killed or who blew up the plane.
Yeah, it was someone else.
And like, that could have been revealed in a much more dramatic way. Like, I'm sorry. She just goes, oh no, that wasn't me. It seems like we have some common enemy. Ooh, that's interesting. Now let's walk around this garden for a bit. See what you did. You exposed the secret of Desert Rose.
Which we happen to be in a garden full of the flower we're talking about. Yes. For no particular reason. Just so you can look at it.
Like, this here Desert Rose, you exposed the benefit of this here Desert Rose that grows on this island here.
And this island only.
Oh yeah, no, that was that whole monologue about colonization.
I was like, yes, very valid points, but how did we get here?
Yeah, I mean, she could just, theoretically, she could start a trade agreement, or she could, I don't know, like, there are other ways to deal with this. Obviously, it makes sense that she would want to protect it, but it's just, it's a very assuming the worst kind of situation. And like, if they had gone through this before, then maybe I would understand a bit more. Like, maybe, something happened and they almost got wiped out and now they have to be super careful. But I don't think that's the case, right?
No, I think she just wants to keep, I mean, unless we're missing something, but yeah.
I'm confused as to who Sapphire is in terms of, like, so she's an island, and on this island there is a drug or a flower which can cure everything.
Yes, cure all.
Yes, and
but she also is but she also is like a criminal overlord, is what we kind of get from season 1. Is like she is the puppeteer, like she pulls a lot of strings with criminal forces in Gotham. Why ever, if she lives on this very nice and sunny island, why would she have ties to Gotham?
That's my question. Why? What's she get out of it? Does she need to finance her operation somehow?
Yeah, and
crime.
And then apparently she seems to be a very evil person who hired Victor. We need to talk about Victor next, but who hired Victor to kill a bunch of people. The plane Kate was in, she kind of also helped destroy that, apparently, which then we find out that she wasn't. So it's kind of the question of who is it then? Is it another person? Are you just lying? Like, you seem to be a good person in parentheses, but then again, you hired Victor. Who hires Victor? No nice person.
No.
Victor.
That's true. I mean, to be honest, I don't believe that Kate's alive. I don't believe that she's got her.
No, me neither.
She just got the necklace some other way. It's not that hard to get a necklace. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, but like, maybe it's this very safely guarded necklace, but otherwise... I
mean, it is. Kate's always wearing it. So, yeah, no. I was genuinely underwhelmed by Sapphire's exposition because just because I feel like this could have been so cool. This could have been built up and then, like, kind of I don't know, part 3 of the 3-act structure of the first 3 episodes. But, forget structure. Who needs that? It's just a TV series. So, my thoughts about Victor are much more joyful. So I'm going to go over to Victor because first time he said his name, I was like, is his second name, like, is his last name Sass? Is he Zsassy? Is that him? Apparently I was wrong. It's Zaz, but I was kind of right.
Yeah.
And I think he's very gruesome, but also he has fun one-liners, and I like his interactions with Ryan / Batwoman. I really do like them. I think they make a great comedic team.
Yeah, ditto. I think, I agree. There was he's very observant, and it's really, I thought it was a little bit odd how when he first meets Ryan, but as Batwoman, he kind of immediately comments on oh, you don't really seem to be very comfortable in that suit. Maybe you should change something. And then she goes and changes the wig.
Yeah.
Which okay.
Very weird. She's like, this bad guy who's clearly a serial killer with a mental disorder has a point. I'm going to get another wig.
Yeah. It was, but I kind of liked the dynamic, but it was just very sudden.
But I liked it because it was so random. The whole scene was so random, but in its randomness, it made sense. He was just first of all, he's just like, can I fix you a drink? I was like, sure, whatever. This is happening now. And then he commented on her being insecure like a best friend, and then he took out a missile. And I was like, sure, okay, that's a thing now.
Yeah, that scene was wild. It was kind of fun, though. It was a fun scene.
Definitely like that scene. It was a good exposition of their dynamic.
Yeah, and I feel like it was interesting because then afterwards we got to see her as Ryan. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. We get to see
when she meets up with him in the restaurant.
Yes, without being Batwoman. Exactly. So anyway, she meets up with him, and he's the same, or he's a very similar character. Sorry, the cat has heard a noise. Okay. He's a very similar character, but they kind of have a similar dynamic, but it's obviously...
It's tuned down, I felt.
Yeah.
I like, though, that they know of each other in real life, and that they know each other as Batwoman and Zaz.
I also like that she mentions that she dated this woman who he knows, and he is immediately impressed. He gives her status in this conversation because he's like, oh, you fucked with her, you broke her heart, I am intrigued.
Yeah. The comment was a bit weird when he said, I'm a sucker for a lesbian drama, but a little part of me went, same.
I mean, but I don't know. I don't want to stereotype, but does he have a gay vibe?
Oh, I didn't go there, but now that you say it, you know what? Maybe he might.
I don't know. Like, it could also just be a very sassy man. I think he could just be a sassy man who's into drama, which would be a very heavy stereotype if he was then actually gay.
Yes.
And also, it shouldn't really be relevant.
No, I didn't attribute a sexuality to him, but he is very sassy, and therefore it made sense him being into drama of all sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mr. Sass.
Yeah. I do like, though, that he's, you know, the stereotype, like, oh, a serial killer with a conscience. He is a serial killer with humor, and I like that even more. He's just like, I kill people, but, you know, I make work fun.
Yeah, that's true. No, cat, come back.
No, I am in the opening. Let's quickly talk about the opening, because I hated the opening. I was not convinced, and I thought, like, oh my god, what's this dude? Because
what's the opening again? Oh yeah, because
him killing the couple and the woman in the bathtub who didn't take out her earplugs for whatever reason.
He was just talking to her, and she had her earbuds in, and he was like, she clearly heard him.
Yeah, but I was like, rude. Anyway, I didn't like him in the opening because I couldn't grasp him yet. But now that I have seen the episode, I know more of him than I know of Ryan, honestly. So that's a plus.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. He has a lot more personality on display straight away. I mean, even in the first scene was mostly just violence. But he does have a couple of like one-liners or where he sort of explains the situation. But yeah, they up the goal with him. Like when he obviously takes off his clothes and then he like cuts himself, which I was wondering, is that not like bad for DNA? Because he might drip somewhere. He was doing it, wasn't he doing it in the hotel room where he had just killed two people?
I don't think he worries about that. He also killed a man in a lobby where there's probably lots of cameras.
Oh yeah, and then he also killed that scientist, and there was a camera.
Yes,
and he was so easy to find him.
Absolutely, but I think that's, I mean, in the context of the show, that makes sense because he's a killer for hire, right? So you want to be visible in a way, so people can hire you, people see your work. It's basically an open resume.
Yeah.
It's like actors who just have like a lot of tiny roles, but like, so like, contact me. Never mind. That might have been a weird parallel. Forget that. Actors are not serial killers. I hope.
Well, some of them might be. The two aren't mutually exclusive.
They are not.
Okay. Oh, and another thing about the gore is, I don't know, I don't feel like it's emphasized this much like in the last two episodes, but when he attacks the lab or the doctor's office where Mary works, and her coworker or employee is smashed against the window, and she slides down so slowly,
so fucking slowly.
It's almost comedic. It's like, I don't know.
But I think that's what they're going for with him. I in hindsight, because in the beginning, obviously, the opening, I thought, oh, they're going for serious. But in hindsight, him like pulling down his pants and looking for a free spot on his body to put another death mark, essentially, it's kind of weird. And also, like, slightly comedic. Like, oh my god, I've killed too many people. Oh no, I can't. Like, it's not my sense of humor, but it's the same sense of humor of a person dying and then like falling so slowly that you could, you know, go buy groceries and be back and she would still be falling.
It was very strange because it was actually a very tense scene. Like, because when he attacked Mary and she fought back, and that was actually quite a good fight, in my opinion.
That was really good. Mary has definite back pain because she is carrying the show, not only with her scenes, but also with her outfits. I am saying it. You heard it here first.
We don't know that, but yeah.
Yeah, anyway. No, the scenes with her and Victor were also quite good. Not as funny, and they were good not because I feel like the scenes between Ryan and Batwoman and Victor are good because the two of them, they have like a dynamic, like a comedic dynamic. And with Victor and Mary, I feel like they both are such fleshed out characters that it has to work. Like they both are so like
rounded.
They're very rounded characters within themselves that it just makes sense that you can pair them with anyone and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I felt like the scenes between Victor and Mary were very real, whereas the scenes between Ryan and Victor were very funny.
Yeah.
But not necessarily real. So
this means that Ryan still isn't really fleshed out enough.
No, she isn't. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, the thing is, what is it going to take? Like, that's what I'm wondering. What is it going to take for her to count? Like, what sets her apart from Mary, other than the fact that Mary existed in season 1? So maybe there's like that aspect of it. So you can, like, Mary has already been given space to develop as a character.
No, I mean, that's unfair. I would say compare her to Victor, who has only had 1 episode and is already a well-rounded character.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah.
Because what Victor has is a motive for doing what he does. And he does some stuff on his own. He's not just like, the plot demands me to do this now, but like, no, I have an opinion. Like, what has Ryan done that is not, you are the protagonist, you have to do this? Like, taking on the bat suit is definitely that.
Yeah. But then also everything that comes with it, I guess.
Yes. But so why I feel like she was a little bit more fleshed out in this episode is because she lied to her parole officer about working for Mary. So that, for me, was a point where I was like, oh, she has a personality.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I'm still finding it hard to, like, if I had to like describe her as like on a dating profile or something, to be like, so she's like, she has these characteristics, this is what she does. So basically we know she's witty.
Funny.
She's funny. She's empathetic in terms of, well, what we saw in the last scene.
She's righteous in a way.
Righteous, yeah. And impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
And has a plant. And yes.
As opposed to, I think, Zsass's dating profile. Now we're creating Tinder for characters. But Zsass would be like, I don't know. I like a good drink in the evening. I am a big fan of missiles and weapons of all sorts. I like scarification. Good dinners pay me lots of money. I like jokes. I do like to joke with people I know that are gonna die. Like, I know so much more about Victor already.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm living for money, but also I don't kill and tell. Like, so many things.
That's true. I mean, I suppose we know a lot of stuff what Ryan would not put in her dating profile. I have to see my parole officer every week. I don't know. I lost my adoptive mom to Alice.
But these are not traits. These
are
things she has happened or have happened to her.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, hopefully next week we'll find out if she likes baking or something, or long walks on the beach, and she's more of a cat person or a dog person or a bat person, obviously, but like we know she's not a bat person really because she killed like a ton of them in a bus.
Yeah, she's not the biggest fan of bats.
No.
Oh yeah, actually that was the funny part in last week's episode where she was like, I really hate bats, and screaming. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Do you have anything else you wanna say about this episode? Otherwise, we have been talking for about half an hour, and that would be
again, I want to just say I do think it was better than last week, just plot development wise, even though it was a lot of info dump. However, and yes, they missed a lot of opportunities to create tension, but I feel like it was maybe balanced out for me through those scenes that we talked about with Victor and stuff. But that's it. That's everything.
Yeah, I don't think it was better than last week, but probably also not worse.
Yeah,
I want to know more about the kryptonite again. Hit me up.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, that happened.
I will never let it go. I will not let it go. Oh my god. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to Batwoman After Tea, episode 3. Sorry about the fact that we're not particularly impressed, but a quick YouTube search has shown that we are not the only ones who are not super stoked by this season 2. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope we see you or you hear us next week. We suck at outros. Goodbye. Have a good evening.
Bye.